Show me. Show me. What do you want, Miss Hagen?
I want my life back.
I know you. You're famous.
It's a tragedy what they did to him. Boo! I'd like to volunteer for human trials.
This isn't cosmetic surgery.
Even if it kills me, I'll be better off than I am now.
Matt.
I'm okay.
You okay?
I'm okay. I feel great, actually.
I have no idea what side effects you'll have or how to treat them.
Sir, the seatbelt sign is on.
We're in unknown territory.
What's happening to me?
If you're harboring feelings of anger, you need to let them go.
Want to know how I feel? The people I trusted betrayed me. The justice system failed me. They stole my career, my money, my life. I'm a monster.
I have no idea who you are.
All right. So we are entering horror. Sorry. I'm not. I am not. All right. Now I think I'm even. Okay. So we have entered horror. I love that superhero movies are now allowing that. They're allowing for not just PG-13. Yes, that is going to make fewer families go to the movie, but let's face it, you can't do Clayface without, we can't keep sanitizing, Punisher or Clayface or whichever Moon Knight, whichever universe we're talking about. You can't be sanitizing these characters, especially the more violent ones like Joker. You just can't sanitize them by making them PG-13. But anyway, let's get to the trailer. So now, I don't know when this character was introduced in the comics. I mean, this version of the Clayface character. So I can't remember if I was not a big Batman reader when I was a kid. So I don't know if I came across this character. But anyway, this version of Clayface, as you can see, he was an actor. He was one of those pretty boy actors that without his looks, or at least in his mind, without his looks, he's nothing. So he was famous because of what he looked like. Which is also a a commentary on Hollywood. I mean, they've gotten better in recent years, but it used to be that if you didn't look a certain way, you weren't the stereotypical idea of attractive, you couldn't work in Hollywood. It was a matter of someone like Melissa McCarthy probably couldn't have gotten a job in Hollywood, or not get as successful as she did, simply because of her weight, or Rebel Wilson, or whomever, because Hollywood had a certain standard. So this is a commentary on that. This idea that this man will go to such extremes to get his face back after it was disfigured by what looks like a gang. Now, we don't know why. He did say in the voiceover that he was betrayed by the people near him, by the people who are near him. So it's possible that we're talking his agent, or probably most likely his agent. I mean, I guess we could be talking friends as well, because I can only imagine that since he so desperately wanted a foot in Hollywood, that he would be friends with other actors, other people in the biz. So somebody, or all of them, and if it's truly, here, let me move you to the side. My hand keeps getting cut off. So he was betrayed by one person. Sounded like he thinks that everybody betrayed him. So I don't know if it's a matter of, there was a conspiracy against him, or there was this one particular person who betrayed him by, betraying him to the mob, that he got his face cut up, and that everyone else just basically wrote him off. This idea that they didn't want anything to do with him because he thought his career was over. They thought his career was over. Both sides thought his career was over because he didn't look a certain way. Now, the few cuts that we saw were, I wouldn't call that disfiguring. I mean, when they said that they were going to show him disfigured, I thought that it would be worse, especially since it's R-rated. So, yeah, maybe they just haven't really shown the disfigurement. But, yeah, I'm so far not impressed with what little they showed. So he gets disfigured and he wants help. Now, why he didn't just get cosmetic surgery? Because the doctor, I assume she's a doctor, in the trailer said this isn't cosmetic surgery. Which, duh, because that's not experimental. The question is why? What is it about his disfigurement that, maybe, like I said, maybe in post that they haven't finished truly showing his disfigurement, that it's much worse than it looks. And so it looks now. So it's entirely possible that cosmetic surgery would just be too expensive, too painful, whatever. So he goes to this doctor, and she tells him basically what this is. And you see what looks like little mounds of clay moving around. And she injects him with it. And my first thought is, I'm sorry, you see those little mounds of clay moving around and your first thought is, yes, I want to go through with that. I want that in my body. Yeah, okay. So, and then we later see her really freaked out, saying that I have no idea what is happening here. I don't know what the side effects are, and I don't know how to treat them, even if you have them. And that's one of those things that you should learn before you subject yourself to whatever treatment she did. I mean, if she's going to inject you with someone, she should probably tell you in advance. Oh, by the way, this is really experimental. I have no idea what's going to happen to you, whether you're going to get your face back or whether you're going to turn into goo. I mean, so he is slowly descending, and she did say, but she did understand though that his emotions dictate whether he stays as Matt Hagen or he turns into Clayface. Now, so she must have some idea then as to him not being able to stay as Matt Hagen. Or maybe she was clued in when she injected him and what happened to his space afterwards. Because she was really freaked out then too. Which, it was weird though, because he said, I haven't felt better. And you still saw some red spots on him. Like he wasn't completely, that it didn't take across the whole face. So I don't know if that was just a goof in post that they forgot that part. And when the movie comes out in October, that won't be there anymore. Or it's one of those, it just takes time for it to fully kick in. But either way, she's already freaking out. And he goes about, he tells her that, his friends betrayed him. Well, he said the people he trusted most betrayed him. And the system betrayed him, which this is Gotham. Actually, no, this is Coast City. This isn't Gotham, is it? I thought Emergency Awesome said this was Coast City. So, in that case, because if it were Gotham, they would be like, well, duh, we know that the mob controls Gotham, but because it had a very Gotham-esque quality to it. So, now I'm confused. I thought this was in Gotham, which, again, that would be a major duh that the gangs control it. That's not exactly an unknown thing. So now the question is also, how did Matt piss the gangs off? Or how was he involved with the gangs? Or wasn't he, and it was somebody around him who was involved and just threw Matt under a bus? Who knows? So so then you see a montage of him going after the individual gang members and using his powers as Clayface to go through like the shower drain and reemerge, or I shouldn't say a shower drain, but a drain, and reemerge on the other side as Matt Hagen so he can kill him. But at the very end, it looks like that he might actually kill her too. Because she even asked, who are you? And then we finally see him as Clayface. I mean, granted, it was mostly shadow, but you see that he looks like comic book Clayface. So the question then becomes, does he kill her? Or does she manage to get away? because just because he is the subject of this movie doesn't mean that he's the hero of this movie. So it's entirely possible that it ends with him being either captured or being put on the officer's radar, or being sent to a mental institution. If it's truly Gotham like I think it is, that would be Arkham, which has its whole set of problems on itself. But so it's going to be interesting to see what happens to him. Now, obviously you feel for this guy because all he wanted was his face back, which he did say they took his money, they took his life, they took his livelihood. Again, that is a commentary on Hollywood, that he would feel like, now, it would depend on how disfigured he actually was. Is he disfigured as in, what is that movie? I know it's with Cher, but I can't think of it. Or is it just a few cuts? Now, again, Hollywood of a certain time, that would be enough to disqualify you from ever working again, because they wanted these perfect looking people. But he also mentioned they took his money. Now, I don't know if that's just his future earnings or they actually robbed him blind. That I would hope he had money in the bank. But if this is Gotham and this is a gang that rules Gotham, that would be no problem to go into the bank and and wipe the slate clean. So it's possible that they did leave him destitute. That's possible. However, all his actions after the fact, after he becomes Clayface, I mean, let's face it, Batman went through all sorts of trauma. His parents were shot in front of him. Doesn't get more traumatic than that. Especially if you're a little boy. Your parents are shot in front of you. Yeah, that is going to cause trauma. And as messed up as that man is, he still has a moral code. He will beat the shit out of you. He'll beat you within an inch of your life, but he will stop that at that point. He will not kill. Clayface doesn't seem to have that moral compass. So, is what happened to him awful? But yes, but does that constitute him just, going full vigilante and to the point of death? And like I said, it looks like he is interested in killing her. So I don't know if this is a situation where, like, skipping universes back to Daredevil, back to Marvel, where Heather Glenn considers killing people a show of power. You want to show, it makes you feel powerful. So who knows, maybe he killed all those gang members and decided that even though it is this experiment that allowed him to actually get his revenge, he still considers her to have ruined his life as well, because he's now Clayface. That he can't keep himself constituted because he can't keep his emotions in check, so he's going to take it out on her. Again, first off, you were dumb enough to do this experiment. And she was freaked out. I mean, it's not like she intended for any of this to happen. So, yes, I know the road to hell is paved by good intentions, but, she honestly was freaked out about this whole situation. So, maybe he kills her, or maybe she's the one who gets away and helps bring him down. I mean, first off, she knows who he is. Secondly, she knows what she injected him with. She has some idea of what it's doing to him. So she can easily go to the police and say, okay, this is a thing that's happening. Because what I'm hearing is this is taking place, that this is basically the first movie of the MCU, in the sense that it takes place before Superman. So if Batman is around the same age as Superman, so maybe this is around the time that Batman's parents are being murdered. Because we don't know how far into the past this Clayface movie goes. Does it just go a few years back? That Batman is already Batman. Maybe he isn't Batman yet. Or, or maybe towards the end, even though James Gunn still hasn't said a peep about Batman, and that he hasn't cast a Batman yet, that maybe we'll get a silhouette, or some sort of like we did in Creature Commandos. We saw a silhouette of Batman, even though we didn't actually, it was a cartoon, so of course we didn't see who is playing Batman. We didn't hear him speak, so we have no clue. So it's possible we'll get a Batman teaser towards the end of this movie. Let's see, what else did I want to mention? Let's see, I think I've covered everything I wanted to. I believe I mentioned this in my Avengers Doomsday video, but this is San Diego Comic-Con weekend. So whatever trailers they drop that is available online, I will definitely do videos for. Usually even, they'll wait a week or two, even if they're not initially available. They will eventually make it available for people to watch and comment. So I'm doing this video on Thursday, and I looked at Thursday's schedule, and I don't see any videos dropping of shows or movies or projects that I follow. So this should be the only video today. I haven't looked the rest of the weekend. I know Saturday is the big Hall H panel for the MCU. I don't think DC is doing a big Hall H panel, so I don't know if they're going to be dropping trailers, because, they dropped Clayface before Comic-Con, right before Comic-Con, so who knows? Whether we're still going to get a Lanterns trailer, whether we're going to get anything in Comic-Con. So, I believe that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.